Time is a limiting factor for all of us. I do enjoy playing Minecraft, and most of all I think it's fun to do. But for me, and I expect a lot of you, spending time playing Minecraft is just one small part of what are quite busy days. What I'd like to help people with in this video is improving the effort to outcome ratio of our gameplay and enjoyment. In other words, try and make it as easy as possible to get the best Minecraft world possible. In survival, obviously. And there are two parts to this. First, there's the big Minecraft YouTuber viewpoint of showing off the most impressive building techniques or giant redstone machines. And then, but just as important but often overlooked, there's the art of applying this to your own busy lifestyles in a way that's going to be the most time efficient, practical, and that ultimately leads to the greatest sustained fun in your world. Anyway, today I want to go through some of the things I do to help me play Minecraft and make the absolute most of that limited resource called time. Number 1, prioritize worthwhile actions. These aren't in any particular order, but I'm starting with this one because I know some of you won't make it through the video, and this is the most important point. It's just basic common sense, but in today's world of social media and algorithms, that's just not as common as I might hope. What I mean when I say prioritize worthwhile actions is that before I dedicate my limited playing time to something, I want to know it's actually going to make my game easier and not harder. I'm not suddenly going to dump 20 hours into building some massive project off the back of one inspirational Minecraft video, because although it might look impressive, I'm not going to do something just for the sake of doing it. Part of improving the effort to outcome ratio is focusing on actions that directly buy back your time and leave you more free to actually enjoy the game when you do get a spare 30 minutes to log on. Let me give you some quick examples. I get an iron farm in my world as soon as I can, because the amount of uses for iron is almost unlimited, and then I don't have to worry about it. I don't build stacking raid farms because despite their massive output, there's really no point in spending hours setting one up when caving are much easier to build witch farm, or a few villager trades gives you all the redstone one person actually needs. I do build melon and pumpkin farms because of their incredible use getting emeralds for villagers. I don't build beetroot farms because red dye is easier to get elsewhere, and it's not just farms. I use villager trading for diamond gear because that's incredibly convenient. I don't attempt massive perimeter projects because I really don't want to. The idea of spending hours and hours setting up a TNT flying machine just for it to explode because of one slight miscalculation just isn't an appealing one. You get the idea. That's not to say you can't try stuff. If you want to spend the time and effort speculatively, that's entirely up to you. You just don't have to stick to worthwhile actions. I'm just saying prioritize worthwhile actions if time is a limited resource. Number 2, match projects to your energy levels. Now, for most aspects of playing Minecraft, having a plan is a good thing, but it can backfire if you're too rigid about what you force yourself to do when you log on. I have 2 one-year-old cats. Sometimes they let me sleep through the night, other times they decide to wake me up at 2 AM with a flurry of Hurricane Cat. After those nights, my mental processing and overall motivation are somewhat suboptimal. What I mean by this section isn't about deciding whether or not to play, is about taking a second to reflect on your mood and choosing a project that actually fits it. If I sit down exhausted after a long day and force myself to tackle a complex redstone build or raid the end to top up my shulker shells, I'm going to make frustrating mistakes, die, end up losing my gear and potentially my mind. Or vice versa, if I log on feeling fresh and motivated, wasting that high energy on gathering resources or sitting while my items are sorting is a missed opportunity to knock out something fun and exciting. It's about being practical with your mental state. If your energy is low, lean into low brain power tasks. Go on a casual mining run. I use a tunnel bore for even less to think about. Smelt down some ores, detail a room you've already built, save the heavy planning, complex builds and high stakes fights for when you actually have the focus to enjoy them. Telling people to regulate their in-game projects based on their mood isn't a standard hyper-specific gaming advice, but I don't care about what's hype and motivating and huge. I care about what's realistic for a busy player with other commitments. I don't care if you had a grand plan to build a mega farm tonight. I care about whether you're working with your motivation rather than against it, so you can actually enjoy your time in the world without making the game feel like trying to row a boat in honey. Number 3, planning for quick sessions. If you're a busy adult with kids, cats, or a 10-page essay on the life and times of James Clerk Maxwell, things that are actually more of a priority than playing Minecraft, you won't always have 3 to 4 hours each day to dedicate to a massive project. However, a lot of players think that if you only have 30 minutes to play, then that's not really time to do anything at all. I understand why. You log in, wander around for 15 minutes, look wistfully up at an unfinished build or redstone project, spend a bit more time contemplating the vacuous, uncaring nature of the universe, and then log off feeling dissatisfied. What we can do, however, is have a plan to ensure that 30 minutes contributes to a project later down the line. Craft a bunch of observers if you're doing a redstone project, you're going to need them at some point. Add a tiny bit of detailing to a room, even if you're not going to finish it, even if you're not going to keep it. It helps the creative process by having something as a starting point. The goal behind this is to always have pre-planned tasks ready to do that will help turn a useless 30 minutes into actual progress. Literally creating something from nothing. Over the weeks, those spare 20 to 30 minute sessions all add up and you'll finish massive projects that might have taken months longer to finish. Number 4, plan and automate. There's doing a build, which is hard, but there's also thinking about the steps required to start a build, and both can be quite taxing. Of course, some amount of thinking about a build is necessary, right? But my worry is how much wasted energy goes into overthinking about builds or anything else. So first decide on those things that aren't massively important and stick to your decision. If it's not obvious whether you should build a sugarcane farm or a bamboo farm first, then it probably doesn't matter, so choose either. If 2 different farm designs produce similar rates, then they're probably going to be similarly effective, so choose either. In instances where it's reasonable to choose either option, just choose either. Like just flip a coin, life's a lottery, be lucky, that kind of thing. Next, do anything you can to reduce your overthinking. Copy a bit of what someone else built so you don't have to design everything from scratch. Get a somewhat organized ender chest full of your most commonly used items so they're always with you. Automate anything you can. I dump my resources in my sorting system, which keeps all my items sorted so I don't have to think about it. I keep my tools enchanted with mending so I don't have to mine new diamonds all day long. I have small but effective automatic farms running all the time. They're not the biggest or the fastest designs, but I'm one person. I don't need 2 million sugarcane in 30 seconds. All this means I can just get stuck into a new project without any mental friction to slow me down. If I get bored of what I'm working on, sure, I just think of a new project or idea, but apart from that, decisions aren't something to overly stress over. Number 5, maximize efficiency. You can always make progress in your world while actively playing, but I want to ensure I get the maximum possible return from that time. First of all, tool efficiency, pun definitely intended, and securing your environment are non-negotiable. Mending and unbreaking 3 on all gear ensures every minute spent playing includes fun, creativity, and progress rather than forced detours to replace broken tools. Similarly, lighting up your base avoids rebuilding blown up storage rooms after a creeper surprise. Redoing the work you've already done is a terrible return for your efforts, not to mention frustrating and demotivating. Next, eliminate as many manual tasks as you can. If you build far from spawn or while playing on an SMP, set up some kind of chunk loader to keep the farms running 24/7 in the background. Build a moss farm that can produce bone meal for use in other farms. Finally, cut travel. Link distant outposts with an ice highway in the Nether, or at the very least use the Nether roof and an elytra to get between locations without the hassle of tunnels. Dying in lava, boating across oceans, or looking through unsorted shulker boxes sets you back hours. Take each and every opportunity to reduce wasted time or tedious tasks so your play goes entirely towards productivity, fun, or a bit of both. Alright, these are the 5 main things I do to try and get the best outcomes for the effort I put in whenever I have time to play Minecraft. And the reason I try and make things as easy as possible isn't just because I'm lazy, but it's because I think that easy things have the best chance of becoming fun and enjoyable things. Now, I'm certainly not against using the fastest farms or even playing at slow pace if that's what floats your boat. I don't have a problem with videos designing massive farms or building for 300 hours in hardcore or whatever. I'm personally just happy to wait until there's a smaller version or to use something that's slightly less effective but older if I'm more comfortable using that design. You, however, have been given your own thoughts and you have your own independent judgment, so you can use that. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful. See you later.